For agreeing to be a part of Kelsey Stories and share this time with us. We said we're all blessed and we're looking forward to it. If you would, real quickly, just say hello to everybody. Introduce yourselves.
And Charlie.
Amen. So my first question is, when did you become a member of Kelsey?
I was born in the church.
That's on, yes. How about now?
Hello? Can you hear me now? Okay. The question is, when did you become a member of the church?
I've been a member all my life.
And how old are you?
Oh, do I have to say my age? I'm 97.
Amen.
96. And it's the first time she missed church to not to come for her birthday.
Yeah.
She always comes for her birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a doctor.
What else do you want to know about me?
We'll get to it.
Matter of fact, we were all born and raised in this church,
Yeah.
and we're all baptized in this church, and some of us got married in this church,
Yeah.
and we had our children here, and they've all been baptized in this church.
Wow.
So we've been here a few years, so
100 years.
Almost, huh?
Big blessing.
Amen.
My oldest sister, that she was baptized in 1919 in this church. Not this one, the oldest. And we all went this way.
Okay, all right. Do you have any particularly fond memories of things that have happened here at Kelsey?
I'm real proud of having Brother Dickinson.
Yeah, we started
With him, Brother Dickinson, with Dwight Dickinson. He was the one that got us this building, this church. Our church, he worked real hard. And of course, I was only about 8 or 9 years old when we had our Bible classes in summer, vacation Bibles. And he would take it. Nobody else wanted it. And I remember one time he was real proud. He got 13 of us there. Usually it was only 8 or 9 of us there. So I'm always so proud of it because he was a real hard-working minister, and he knew somebody in the valley named Kelsey. And she was always a very Christian lady, and she was the one that helped us out.
Amen.
I remember one Wednesday night I went to church, and my mother gave me a small Bible. Oh, and I worried her. Oh, Mama said, nobody steals Bible. I came Sunday morning, I went straight, before I got to Sunday school, I went straight to the court, and it was still in the same place. She said, and that's it. We have a lot of memories when they were building the church.
Yeah.
The Oliver girls, I used to get them in trouble because I'm the good one.
We all believe you, don't worry.
And we were jumping up in the boards, and we were so proud that they were building our church, and we were just going piece by piece. And this man, Lemos, get off of those things. And I said, I can get on them, my mother's paying for them. And then when he came out again, and Mary and all of us, we ran in the church, and I had to come, where were you? And I had to tell my mother the truth. She said, well, I had paid for some of them, but you don't have to know about it. So that's some of it. And Isabel taught Sunday school. How many years?
For same time. She started for 60 years after Sunday school. And I think everybody knows me.
Everybody knows her name. I taught
and Isabel was my teacher. And I remember, like I told Brother one time, as our Father were in heaven, and she said, you have to memorize it. And I couldn't memorize it. They said, you have to memorize it. Oh my God, I said, you have to memorize it. So I learned it very young, and she was my teacher, and that's it.
I think I told everybody around my age.
Amen, amen. Can you talk a little bit about your family? Kind of where the family's from, what the family did, all those kinds of things that are fun to know about the Castanedas?
Well, you never left the church.
Yeah,
You were
I
stationed
never
in different
left.
places. 25 years you were stationed.
I traveled several places with my husband, but I never left the church. I always went to the Methodist church wherever we went.
In her
And my kids are,
kids and everybody are
my
Methodist.
children.
Amen.
Washington DC, they still.
Yeah.
And my oldest sister was Methodist in California, and she preached when the preacher wasn't there. She was a good Christian.
Josie.
Josie,
Her
my
sister
sister
Josie.
Josie. A lot of people know her. She always came to church. She was always here on Thanksgiving and stayed too long. She stayed, she stayed till January.
Family love.
There it is.
Sisterly love.
My mom was a real true Christian. She was one that came here when she said, I don't know, she said some little Methodist church started over there somewhere close to Leopard Street or some building or something, and somebody told her they were getting together over here. That was way back.
My mother
Before
told
we
me,
were born.
my mother told me when my daddy went to ask her hand, all her sisters turned Catholic for their husbands. And I said, Jose is asking, Miguel tu mano is asking for your hand. He wasn't supposed to come till I was there. Daddy's not supposed to give me away. And she opened the door, she said, I'm not going to get married with you unless you're a Methodist. I'm going to church tonight with you. He was a Methodist. He sat in the way in the back.
Yeah.
And any time that the church needed something, and Mama got it out of that.
So your parents were very involved in ministry and the work here at Kelsey, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes, we went to all the camps.
Summer camp, yeah.
And one of the camps, I found out I was a Mexican. I always thought I was in America, but we went to Kerrville, and the preacher wanted us to mother to go in the old bus, that old bus we had.
Yeah.
Remember, Emilio? Well, they picked up they were all, las mujeres metodistas all were going, but Mother, Nomi and I had to go all the time. Well, Miss Dickinson when my mother looked like Miss Dickinson's in a lot of ways. And we got off really happy because we in that old bus, but we had a lot of fun. Daddy wanted us to, well, we've always had cars. And the cook came out from the restaurant in Kerrville and said, we don't wait on Mexicans here. And my mother, who's a Mexican? Who's a
Mom couldn't find it.
She said, don't say nothing, just speak English and let me do the talk. And Mother went with the preacher, with Brother Dickinson and Miss Dickinson. He said, I'll wait on these people, but the others can't come in. And Mother said, if I buy them off hamburgers and soda waters, yes, if you and your kids, y'all come and take them. And we did, and Mother, we wanted to know who the Mexicans were, but we didn't want to know Kerrville, and we ate, we had the best friend of our life. So when we come home, Daddy always asked us what, because she knew that we always got something. And I said, Daddy, do you know that we had Mexicans in the bus? But I never found them. So I said, he went and said, Mama, come here. And my mother went and said, yes, they didn't want to wait on them. My daddy got on that phone, and he called all the judges because he knew them all. And all of a sudden, they started waiting, and all the Spanish people over there, I don't know if there were any Mexicans in our bus, but we picked up all the people from the back behind us. They were Spanish like me, but I found out I was a Mexican. We had a lot of fun in Kerrville. We always went to everything.
So, brother, you mentioned Brother Dickinson. Are there any other preachers that stand out to any of you all that you remember fondly, or that maybe had a big impact on your faith?
Well, Brother Dickinson was number one.
Yeah.
And then the Grouts, the senior and the junior, they were just,
She's
you
good.
know, it was wonderful. Their preaching and their gathering was wonderful. And Reverend Leggett was another one that we, but Mother always invited the ministers, the pastors to go have, eat with us all the time. We always had them with us. We always had them with us,
That was Mother.
I always remember Senior Grout. He had these rosy cheeks whenever he talked and everything. He was just a kind man, beautiful.
And Brother Dickinson, of course, they didn't make too much money here, but we went to school and we got out for lunch at 11. And he always come this old car. That's why we remember him so much. And he said, Castanedas, I can give you a ride home. And I said, brother, we're not supposed to get on nobody's car. And I had no way by the hand. And I said, but you're welcome to go. That's what you can go eat. And we run all the way. By the time we were already home. 5 blocks. We ran all the way home and said, Mama, Brother Dickinson's coming on back. His plate ready. And he would eat there and say, Lilita. He always spoke Spanish to us, I want to take something, aquí lo tengo, for his wife. Mother always had enough for everybody. So we've always been blessed.
Amen. Amen.
We had a little corner grocery store, and we had a little restaurant. We made hamburgers and hot dogs, and he went there quite often. Brother Dickinson. Mama always said him. She loved him. He was a lovely man.
I remember Brother Dickinson in the old church, and we were the youth. I was in the youth at the time, and we wanted to play volleyball, and it was extremely hot outside, and he said, no, you can play in the church. So what we did, we removed all the chairs, and we tied a rope on some nail that was over there, and we played right in the church inside. And when we started to jump, the dust is all over the place, But he was anything we wanted. He made us feel at home. He was just a wonderful man, Brother Dickinson.
Yeah, he would sing a hymn, and he would sing, and kids had all the time, and all you see is the dust.
Of course, Mother set us in front all the time.
His wife played the piano, but she didn't play the piano. She attacked it. I don't know. They were lovely people.
And then, whenever the church needed something, Hermano Lopez, Rogelio, if they couldn't make up the money, boom, boom, he was knocking on the door.
Oh yeah, they didn't wait for you to bring him to church.
No, they come
Brother
to
yeah, he was
To make $5.
He was on a meeting. I think he took
To make $5 and he went
and Emilia went into this building, I think.
Okay.
They went to different homes to
For many years, I thought Emilio was our kin. Because Mother always took him and fed him, So I have more pictures of him with my brothers, He was always with us. I always thought he was kin to us.
I knew he wasn't. Though.
Because he was
That's
the
a lovely
only thin
couple.
one. He was the only thin one. That's how
Your
y'all
parents
relation.
didn't belong.
Odd man out, huh? Okay. So you grew up in the church, all of you, and it sounds like faith was a very important part of your family. Can you identify or think about any particular moments of faith, whether they be at church and worship or camp or anything? Any experiences with God that have touched you that you'd be willing to share?
I was in camp at Kerrville as a youth, and I received Christ then. I was about 13 or 14.
Amen. Amen.
And what the guidance is, camp.
When did you receive God?
Yeah.
When did you feel the
Oh, I felt him all the time. I was born in it. I was always going to church.
Well, I'm the bad one, but I have felt it quite often. We have been in hurricanes driving, and I asked him, give you the strength.
Amen.
No, it's Well, I was baptized here when I was 4 months old. All I can remember, I think my mama's right arm was about 2 or 3 inches longer than the left when I pulled on it all the time. That building that we had was an old building, and it always scared me. It was a church, and I liked it, but I don't. When I see kids, walking in our church by themselves, 6 or 7 years old, I must have been 10 years old, and I was still holding to my.
Okay.
Oh, really?
What's
This is
I've
just
got
a
2
little.
boys.
You got 2 boys and they all carry.
Well, I have 2 boys and they're baptized here.
Amen.
Leroy and AJ.
You've probably seen them there a couple of
And they're
times.
good boys.
Amen.
Yeah, well,
They're good men now.
must be a mother.
They always was ready to carry the mules and everything for Christmas, and they were in all the place. And of course, one of them was as bad as I was, he has to be wiggling, and so that's the one I raised. But, and then my brother Chico's kids, they all were here. But since when they moved far away, that way and we have one, Chico's grandson, my brother Chico, he has this, when he got baptized, they're Methodist, but he's in Washington now, but when he was in Arizona, he sings in the church. They said that he preaches, him and his wife. And I think they're still doing it in Washington, I hope so. It's so hard because we're so many now, we spread it out. So we keep in touch one way or another.
Praise God. So you all have always been involved in the community as well. What has changed about Corpus Christi?
Nobody comes to church. I had never seen, from church, I had never seen the church so empty.
Yeah.
It just, people don't want to come. I even asked my customers, and they said, well, we have to work on Sunday, so my parents have to sleep. And I said, yeah, but one of these days God is going to forget you. But when you're sick, you need Him. And right away, where is God? All the time.
Ever since I can remember, I was Sunday school teacher. I think everybody knew me at the time.
I think that the media has a lot to do with people not coming to church. They stay home and they watch TV. There are all kinds of ministers and services on TV and things like that, But to me, it's nothing like coming to church and really feeling God. You might feel God on TV. I'm sure you can, but I haven't tried it. So I just feel wonderful when I come to church, and I really feel it.
No.
In our class, they were talking about what we give up to come to church on Sundays, and the only thing I give up is siempre domingo. So that's about it.
Okay.
Like all the rest of them, always they had something because they gave up this to come to church.
Well, I taught Sunday school for 40 years, and it's about for 60 with me, but she had already been teaching, and then she retired, and then she started with me. And
I made her come and be a helper.
Yeah,
We had a good group.
we always had to have a big group, and I think I did pretty good. And when they say,
Let me tell you how great I am.
when the kids didn't want to study, I said, you better. And then, well, I tell you, they made me feel so good when we retired. You should have seen the kids who come. Well, I wanted told to be my Sunday school teachers.
Yeah, they were.
They came, I was so surprised.
Do you want us to quit?
Yeah, and because we were always on time. We were never late. We were real early. And when they would come to my Sunday school club, we tried to, and she didn't want to teach them in summertime so we could let the kids, the younger people. And they would come and knock, Miss Castaneda, they're not there yet. I said, I would get out of my class and go upstairs till they got there. And I would fuss at them because when you take a responsibility, you better be there. Especially for God, because the kids are there, the mothers depend for you to be there. That's the way we think.
What is, excuse me, what is the hardest thing you have ever done?
The hardest thing.
Well, funerals is all.
Well, it's kind of sad when you don't have any kids and you're there waiting for the kids to come in. We have to get the parents to bring their kids to church. The Sunday school class. I'm talking about Sunday school.
Dr. Grell came one day and asked us, where's the Sunday school kids are? And they didn't have breakfast. And I told them, they're all eating McDonald's right down there. And the mothers were in here talking, you know. He went downstairs and he got them all. Every one of them. I can name them all, but they came and I said, okay, from now on, you tell your mother, and I went and told their mothers. Feed them early or don't feed them afterwards, you know. So we got all those kids.
I think the hardest thing that I have experienced is death in the family. And such a large family, we were 5 girls and 5 boys, and mom and dad is a total of 12. And you see the family dying off, you know, and that's the worst. It hurts. And then losing grandson.
Oh, it's always interesting. We have 5 boys and 5 girls, mom and dad, 1 riffle. Oh, there was bad every night.
Yeah.
That wasn't, profanity wasn't known at home.
And we had one brother that took over every morning.
Oh, we had one of those. My eldest brother.
So if you knew that younger generations would listen carefully to you, what 2 or 3 things would you want them to know about life?
About
Life.
a nice.
If you knew younger generations would pay attention to you.
Living a Christian life, for one thing. And I've seen kids that used to come to church and they don't come no more, and make it kind of sad, you know. But we had always had plenty of kids in our kids. We made it a point. And then it's
So
hard.
it's just kind of hard. I think what would you advise? You know, learn to get along with everybody and just live a good Christian life. Be nice, be polite, be good. And of course, if it's all possible, go to church. Find a church. Find a church and try real hard not to find excuses not to go to church. Because all those excuses come up so fast. I didn't come, it rained Sunday, didn't it? You didn't see me here.
It's so funny that people come to church, but if you're rude to them, they stop coming, they go somewhere else. And my daddy used to laugh because Mama would tell him, the mejores cantinas los han corrido. From your church, they're running away, and you still go back. And my daddy used to say, well, you never go, because she would meet people downtown at the places, and she preached all the way wherever she was, she always had. And she, I haven't, and I'm going to say it in Spanish, no he ido porque me hicieron feos modos. Y dice, y de mejores cantinas te han corrido y como quiera, y vas. And my daddy would say, why do you say that? Well, people say, me corrieron de ese place, but they still went. And so, and those ladies, you could see them there the next Sunday. So I guess it did work. My mother was a leader.
Yeah, she was. And she made it a point that we come to church.
Alicia's mother, when she came from Laredo, she was a great friend of Mother. And Mother went somewhere, and they told them they couldn't wait on them, just annual people. So Mother said, you don't talk. She said, we ate, Mother ordered for her, they ate, and then they left because they were going somewhere and they had to go, you know. And Mother always, and she always stuck to Mother. Alicia's mother, and Alicia and I were real good friends. We did all the church work in Laredo and everything. And I'm going to tell you, one thing that happened to me in Laredo. They told us we were going to go take census, see how many Catholics and everything. Well, so many Catholics, I would tell them. We were 18 years old. I took my car with, you know how hot it was in Laredo. We had to wear skirts and, of course, pantyhose and everything. I'm in house, and everybody wanted to give me coffee. I didn't want 101 degrees. Well, we finally got back to the church, to the Methodist church, and they fed us. We came back, you could feel it. I got in, took a shower, and everything. That Tuesday, we had to get back to the meeting for the young kids, you know, young adults. We were young adults, and I was 18. And Lisa and I were saying, and he said, okay, we'll start with you, Lula. And Mother was sitting way over there. They were having their meeting over there. Mother said, oh my God. And I said, I want to tell you right now, when I die, I'm not going to go to hell because I've already been through it. It was the hottest place I've ever been to. And Mother, we were, you know, but Mother, they all started laughing. And the preacher said, I'm not going to ask you first anymore. But it was fun.
So my last question is, in all of your life experiences, how do you hope to be remembered?
What do you remember?
Well, I just want to be remembered as a good Christian and a good volunteer. I volunteer for everything, and I am a retired nurse, and I try my best to help out as much as I can. But I just want them to remember me as a good Christian.
And when I remember that one of the kids came and said, you better be a Sunday school teacher because I don't want nobody else. Me and nobody when they have to be Sunday school forever.
Well, I like for everybody to remember me as a good Christian. But well, I did do missionary work for 10 years with the Catholic group. They needed a driver.
But she had her fingers crossed.
But I had my fingers crossed on. Nothing like your big brother. But I did do a lot of church work. And I did all this volunteer work. Because when my mother couldn't drive anymore, she said, you're going to have to do all the volunteer work. So I had to bring her to church Sunday night, and then she said, don't forget 4 o'clock. I said, you didn't include that. I have to bring her 4 o'clock and at night. And then on Wednesdays when I go to my parties, and I bowl and everything, she said, we can go at 8 o'clock. So I had to do that, because I promised her that if I take the car away, and I did it. And I did all the volunteer work, and I wanted you all to remember that I did do all the volunteer work. And when nobody had a place to go in their car, they always took them. And we got any of the Methodist people that came anywhere, we always got them at our grocery store. I wanted to remember you.
Oh, it's a nice person. Good Christian, I guess. And to say what you want to remember for
What do you
me
want to be remembered?
is a good Christian.
The one that don't talk.
Good Christian.
Amen. Well, we are all blessed by your faith and your friendship. Not only just us, I'm sure a whole generation or two of people from your entire family. Amen.